How about you name me one other thing happening in the world right now? And there are many atrocities happening in the world right now, as people love to point out as a way to distract and deflect from what's happening in Gaza. But name me just one. In a place that is smaller than the Las Vegas Strip, where there are troops on both sides of a border and 1.5 million people are stuck in between them with no place to go. The troops are there. They've already invaded Rafah, and they've closed the Egyptian border in order to not let anyone escape. So the besieged civilians are quite literally trapped in a death pen. Name me one other place where that is the case right now. Name me another place that has a war against it on a people that have no standing army and no autonomy over their own country. Or how about tell me another place where a whole entire people are just told that they're not real, that they don't exist.
Case scenario, if there is an occupation, it's between Israel and Jordan, or it's between Israel and Egypt, because it was not an occupation of a country called Palestine. There was never Palestine in history. This is not an absurd statement. It's reality.
It is,
Palestine
though.
never existed. It was not a country. It was not a nation. It's not an ethnic group. We are Arabs. We are the Arabs of Judea and Samaria.
For those of you who don't know, this is Mossab Hassan Youssef. He is the son of one of the Hamas co-founders. And so, as you can imagine, they often trot him out on mainstream media to do propaganda against the Palestinians, because what better person to do propaganda against the Palestinians than a Palestinian son of the Hamas co-founder? If you guys want me to do a video breaking down who this propagandist is and why the media loves to trot him out, just let me know. Do you understand how dangerous it is to tell an entire people that they're not real, that they don't exist? Not only is that dehumanizing, ethnic cleansing language, it is specifically used so that whatever you do to those people is justified, because after all, they don't even exist. Name me another place that has no autonomy over its own borders, no autonomy over its land, air, or sea. And then name me one other place where all of that's happening with our tax dollars while they lie to us and tell us it's not happening. Name me one other place where all of our Congress is bought off by that place and the largest recipient of our foreign aid. I could go on, but the question is, why do you guys do this? Why is it that when it comes to Gaza, you're always trying to find ways to say, let's not talk about it? No one said there wasn't other important things happening in the world, but it's interesting that you guys only care about that when it comes to undermining Palestine. And it's funny because these people come into my comments and be like, what about insert country? And then I'll go to their profile and they haven't said shit about that country. What about Yemen? What about Afghanistan? What about Kashmir? It's just amazing. There's always some attempt to try to distract and not confront what is happening in Gaza. I don't want to hear about starving kids in America. You know why? Because every single time one of you guys comes into my comments and talks about your supposed concern about starving kids in America, the second I ask you if you support the GOP stripping funding from schools in order to give poor kids free lunch, you say you support it. You oppose the child tax credit. You oppose paid family leave. You oppose healthcare. You don't want poor families to get SNAP. You don't want poor children to get WIC. You literally oppose anything that would actually help feed starving children in this country. You oppose all of that. You guys are the same people that when it comes to that, you'll be all, why are we giving money to these people? They need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. And you only bring it up when it comes to trying to delegitimize the conversation happening around Gaza. What about the Uyghurs? Obviously, other war crimes and atrocities happening across the globe are important and deserve attention. We're not on the side of Russia in Ukraine. We're not funding the Uyghur encampments. We're not funding, nor are we on the side of the genocide that is starting to unfold in Manipur, India. Like, do you understand that we're paying for the Palestinians to be trapped in a death cage? And not just paying for it, our entire government power structure is cheering it. We give Israel more aid than we give any other country, period. It's not even close. And you know who the second country is that we give the most aid to? Egypt. Name me another country that spends billions and billions of dollars a year to buy our politicians and do PR to propagandize the American people. Since you're so concerned about all the hungry American children, maybe you should ask yourself why so much of our tax dollars are going to fund genocide. And by the way, this is not a competition. If you're really so concerned about other atrocities happening in the world, you've got a phone. Playboy, get on here and make some videos yourself about what you're concerned about. To be complicit with the Israeli government entrapping the population of Gaza in a cage and then call it democracy. Do you know of any other government that's an apartheid system where citizens don't have human rights that calls itself a democracy? They have been living under a brutal occupation for decades, under a blockade in which they're not allowed to move freely in the apartheid system they live in with our money. And you think that's not our problem?